Erin here with Erin Makes, and today we are going to go to Central Park and make some lanyards. I'm super excited. We're going to learn a bunch of different stitches and go have a great time. So let's go. This great chair that we're gonna sit in so we can craft easily. And to the beach, but it's so easy and compact to bring. Set it up like that. I have all of our lanyard string. Let's get started. So I bought a bunch of different colors. I got both chromatic and normal. I also have a pair of nail clippers so we can cut these, and then these also came with some of the starters. And you don't actually need some of the starters to get started with lanyard. These are just more for hooks, but they're really helpful because obviously once you make the lanyard you want to attach it to something. So, and if you can't attach it, like, no, what was the point? But what was the point? The first thing we need to do here is pick out the colors. I'm going to start with a box stitch, which means we actually only need 2 colors. So for that, I am going to do this fun pink, and then I feel like this will go well with this really glittery pink. So we'll do those 2 together. The length that you want is going to be a little bit longer than you think because we're only doing 2 strings, but we're obviously going to be having 4 strings as we work through this. So you're going to actually want to make it almost like double or quadruple the length that you want because each string will count as 2 strings, and that'll make sense in a second. So I know I want this to be about finger length. So for this 1 string, I'm going to make it 4 times that long, which is usually going to be about the width of your arm, and then a little bit for tying off. So I'll make it about this long. And then we'll do the same length for this one because we are doing a simple box stitch. Now when you're making a swirl or spiral lanyard, you're gonna want 1 string that's much longer than all the rest, because if you think about it, if you're doing like a 6 by 2, basically the 2 strings have to span the whole width back and forth every single time you're doing a spiral. So those need to be much, much longer. And usually when I've made lanyards, that usually ends up being the biggest issue, is that those strings aren't long enough and then you can't finish the rest of the lanyard. So definitely make sure when you're making a longer or larger one that the side strings are the longest. Now that we have our length, we are gonna cut it just here with our nail clippers because I didn't feel like bringing scissors all the way to the park. And let's see how this works. Perfect. So if you're in a pinch, definitely bring these. Smaller, easier to carry. Okay, so we're gonna try this for the first time in about 10 years, but basically you're gonna take the midpoint of your 2 strings, you're gonna bring them together, and then you're actually just gonna take 1 string, so I'll go with the pink for now. And this is the easiest way I found to do this. You can also do this around, instead of your finger, you could do this around like the loops I just showed you guys, the hooks. So you'll loop this twice, and you'll kind of have it be in a bit of a heart shape here. And I just like to pinch the bottom so that I kind of hold it in place. And then you're gonna take your other string, you're gonna go through the middle parts of both hoops, and then you're gonna see where each hoop finishes, and then you want to kind of wrap that string on the opposite side. So for example, this one, I can see finishes closest to me. See how I can like pull the whole loop out? So I'm going to take that side and I'm gonna bring it to the opposite side over here first and kind of bring it around the loop that way. And again, as you do this, you can keep fixing and correcting your string. And then for this other side, I'm going to bring it to the opposite there. And what you're gonna end up with is a little bit of this like box shape that, depending on how you pull it, will work out or will not. So just be slow and careful when pulling it. So you can see I just need to pull this pink one a bit more. And look at that, we have our first box shape. Easy. So at this point you can totally put a hook on. This was again the first start of our stitch here, so you can see that we have like a little bit of extra area there to put the hook on, so I'll do that right now. I have a couple different kinds of hooks, but I'm gonna go with your standard like clip hook. And this is really easy if you have fingernails. And you can just kind of pull it open and push it through. And just like that, we're back on. And then because this is our first stitch, we really want to start kind of moving on this lanyard because it'll come undone. So let's start doing that. We're gonna do a totally normal box stitch lanyard. Let's see how far we get. Again, you just kind of flip, and you pull through and pull through. And then you need to pull tight. And that's kind of it. Flip, pull through, pull tight. Now, if you flipped it accidentally like I just did here, you just can reverse it like that. And there you go. You're good. And we'll do this very fun box stitch. I'm excited. I really like these colors together. So let's see how fast we can do this. Let's say that your lanyard is now long enough. I'm gonna keep working on this one, but once it's long enough, what you can do is there's two options. One, you can make a knot, which is the easiest, and you can just take all 4 strings and kind of just tie them around like this and knot it up, and that'll keep it from untying at least for a little bit. And then the better thing to do is make sure that you are an adult or have an adult, and you can actually kind of cut it and then use a lighter to light off the ends. And that's how you finish your lanyard. And then you can clip it onto your purse or your bag or whatever, and super cute. So this is a normal box stitch, and don't forget to like and subscribe and come back for more. We're gonna be making some spiral lanyards next. Thanks.